always tell a lot of my clients that if the more things that you can have fixed before you start having people walk through your home, then as you have buyers coming through, they're going to start, instead of finding things wrong, and all of a sudden they start adding a list of things that they've found wrong in that home.
Right.
They are going to start looking at all the things that are right for them and the things that they love.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Rely on Local. We're very excited to have you with us today. We have Doug Williams with eXp Realty joining us to give us some insights on all of the craziness that's going on with our realty world around us. I'm sure you have a lot of questions of your own involving maybe your own home or the possibility of purchasing a home or even in the rental worlds and all the craziness again that's going on with that. So we're very excited to have you here, Doug. Thanks.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, for joining us and giving us some time today. Again, back to that, I think a lot of people really have a lot of questions. I'm sure you get it all the time. You know, I'm trying to sell my home, or I'm looking for a home. It doesn't seem like there's anything available today. It just seemed like a really tough market for people to find the home of their dreams. I'm sure you get those calls and saying, this is what I want. I'm looking for this many bedrooms. I'm looking for this size home in this area. Yep. And I'm sure you go, good luck. You know?
Well, I try not to say it that way. You know, and I usually at least too is try to tell people, and even if you're thinking about whether it's possibly selling or, you know, looking at maybe buying, even if it's 6 months to a year down the road, call me now.
Okay.
It's better to talk about it, get information, help you plan a little more. You know, and then kind of keep following up and be prepared for those things rather than just like, oh, hey, we're ready to buy a house now.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you go, well, did you do this? And did you? Oh, no, we didn't do that. You know, so I always tell people, even if you're thinking about it, it's better to talk about it now and be more prepared.
Prior planning. Prior planning. So. Well, I'm sure you're going to get circumstances where people have to go quick. You know, hey, I've got this job change, I've got to be moved here, or I'm coming in here for a job, you know, what's available.
The nice thing, people looking to sell, houses sell anywhere between 24 hours to a week.
Oh, okay, right now.
Well, meaning being under contract.
Okay, sure.
But, you know, obviously somebody trying to buy a house is a little more difficult.
Okay.
Even in wintertime right now, there's still so many people that are desperate to try and get away from renting and buying a house.
Well, which is a good move. Yeah, most definitely.
It's still a very competitive market in the wintertime.
Okay, and I was just going to go into that. I was wondering if, you know, the seasonal things are really still affecting things. You know, you hear a lot. You hear about inventory and all of that.
And actually, people that are buying, you have a tad less competition in the winter.
Oh, okay.
Two things. One is school. Some people don't want to move their kids during school.
Right, makes sense.
The other thing is some people really just don't want to move. It's Wisconsin. Nobody wants to move.
It's cold out there, and I don't want to have to deal with it. Yeah.
But if you want to beat out some of those people that are taking that step back, that is your time to do it.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense, I guess. Well, you know, in most anything that you're trying to sell, supply and demand. You know, if there's a big demand, that's going to change, you know, pricing and everything like that. So I can understand that quite a bit. Very, very interesting. Now, would you say with the differences of the economy and the differences of people wanting to move from rental to ownership, I'm assuming that, again, with the demand, has raised prices. Are they still up?
Oh, prices are still going up.
Okay.
And they're, you know, there's different reports and things that are out there. They're forecasting they're probably going to go up another 3 to 5% into next year even.
Oh, my. Wow.
As far as like with the economy, I mean, interest rates have been so low.
Sure.
People that were looking, you know, the last 2-3 years ago were kind of like, oh, we might be able to, but it'll be tight. You know, now that interest rates were down under 3% for a little while.
Right.
They're like, we can afford it, we can do it. let's do it now.
Changes
while
the
we
whole
can.
dynamic of their pricing and the category of house that they can look at.
Right.
Right.
And, so now going into next year, they're talking rates are probably going to go back up to about 3.25 again soon.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a big difference if you're talking maybe 0.5%.
That could
on
be
that monthly
anywhere
payment.
between $100 and $200 a month difference
Oh,
for
that's
your
huge.
payment.
That's huge.
Depending on how big of a loan you get.
How expensive a home.
And for some people, that little bit of a difference can be a huge budget difference.
Can change everything, right? Yeah, it shifts everything around there. I know before we were filming this today, we had some discussions about some different things. You were talking about some changes going on in the mortgage world. So if you maybe elaborate a little bit on that, what seems to be in the forecast there, what's going on?
Well, some people, because there were moratoriums for a while that, people could put off paying their mortgage if the financial situation was a little tough.
Right.
A lot of those are going to be ending towards the end of the year. And, people are worried about what's going to happen. Some people are forecasting, are there going to be a ton of foreclosures, things like that. Well, the smart thing is, if you are in that situation, again, give me a call, because you could have way more options than you think you do. Some of it could be, in the last 2 years, home values have gone up. Some houses I've seen anywhere between $30,000 to $50,000 more than what they were 2 years ago.
Wow, that's huge.
So you could have a lot more equity in your house than you think. Sometimes maybe just refinancing and you could be in a lot better position. Or you could be in a position to, sell your home and either downsize, or, some people may have to look at renting again.
Right.
But you could walk away with some cash in your pocket and not have a foreclosure on your rent.
Right, which you don't want. Yeah,
so
that makes a lot of sense.
And I don't judge people. I don't talk to other people about what their situations are.
Sure.
I come in, I'm here to help, and I'm here to guide people on what the best options are for them.
Right.
And, try to, be someone that's a good resource for them.
Absolutely. Well, I think a lot of people don't know the directions that they can go. You were just talking about options a few minutes ago, and I think people get stuck. They think this is how it is. There's no way that my house is going to be worth enough to really take care of what I have on the, for the cost of the payoff of this home, but they might.
Right.
And so they should really be checking into that. Talking with you is a great way to do that.
Yep.
Now, and in the refinancing world can maybe fix that, or if they really want to be out of it or have to be out of that home, maybe they can walk away with a couple bucks.
And
so that's huge.
And I've got connections with some investors.
Oh.
So even if the property's not always in the best condition, we might still be able to get you out from that mortgage.
Okay.
I've dealt with family members where a family member's passed, and of course, the house hasn't been maintained in the last 20 years.
Yep.
And the
Now
family's
what?
like, we don't really want to deal with it. We just, so there's always different options to get things dealt with.
Sure. Well, again, if talking with you is the idea, that's what they should do right away. I like your idea of doing it in advance too, because it gives a chance. We were talking a few minutes ago too. I remember when we sold our home, to declutter it was a huge thing. I remember hearing about that. You want to make the home look the best it can, and if you've got a lot of stuff in that home, it's not going to look as big or good.
Right.
And if you can move that stuff along, maybe put it in storage or sell it or something.
I just had a family about a week ago that I went to their house and I walked through the house with them and I pointed out the little things that if you fix it now, one, you could sometimes have, if your friend knows how to fix certain things, can be fixed.
Sure.
If you wait to fix electrical outlets until after the inspection, the
Right.
requirement becomes it's got to be done by a licensed electrician at $300 an hour, and
Right.
it gets crazy expensive.
Right.
And I always
Maybe the little things can be done a lot cheaper that way beforehand. Yeah.
Right. And I always tell a lot of my clients that if the more things that you can have fixed before you start having people walk through your home, then as you have buyers coming through, they're going to start, instead of finding things wrong, and all of a sudden they start adding a list of things that they've found wrong in that home,
Right.
they are going to start looking at all the things that are right for them
Sure.
and the things that they love, and they can kind of look past one
There
or
you
two
go.
little things that
There you
might
go.
need to be fixed versus a list of 5 or 6 things, and it's weird how that mentality can change so fast.
Oh, I can believe it. I can
And
believe it.
especially when you're dealing with, if you get first-time home buyers, you've got, maybe even a new husband and wife, the parents come with,
Right.
oh, I bought a house 30 years ago, and they start nitpicking every tiny little thing.
Sure.
The less stuff for them to find.
Right. Well, yeah, why don't you keep that open for the better look of the home? I
If
think
you
that's
look like
huge.
you've maintained your home,
Right.
then they're going to look for the things that, they're going to start thinking, is my couch going to fit here?
Right,
What is
size of
our
things,
dining
yeah.
room table going to fit over here? And,
Right.
it's different.
Which
things
room the
like that.
kids will be in and stuff like that. That's where you want to be.
And sometimes it's kind of like, selling cars where a family, if they start talking about their personal items and things, if they would fit, and like you said, the kids' rooms,
Yeah.
all of a sudden
That's
they're
Bobby's
making it
room.
theirs.
Yeah. Right.
So
yes.
they want, they want that house.
Right. That changes the whole dynamic. So, that's great information. Now, you work with EXP. Why don't you give us a little talk on that? What is the difference with that? I've been seeing it all over now.
Yep. So EXP has a little bit different model of the way they do their business.
Okay.
It's called a virtual brokerage.
Oh, okay.
The company itself has got licensees in all 50 states now.
Okay.
And actually even a couple other countries.
Wow. Okay.
So they're growing massively huge. The nice thing is with a company like that, we get a lot more tools of things that we can utilize, a lot more resources. We have constant training in a lot of stuff. I mean,
Nice.
there's, so it's been a great company to work for as far as being in real estate. They're out there trying to make a big name for themselves. And, it's by joining their team, like I said, I've now got a vast toolbox of resources to use.
I was just going to bring that up. If the options of being able to work with you opens up different opportunities of visibility for that home if it's being sold, or for people wanting to buy that home, wouldn't you want to work with somebody that's on the leading edge? Nothing against other realtors out there, but maybe they're more in the old ways, and I don't think it's going to work as well today as it can when you're thinking more broadly and more
sometimes
openly.
You still run into people go, well, how much is it going to cost me?
Yeah, right.
And you do get what you pay for.
Sure, sure.
We're, typically we'll do our, I hate to say industry standards because it varies,
Right.
but there's somewhat of a local standard around here.
Sure.
But we also have the room for a little bit of flexibility depending on the situation. And,
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
But you don't want to necessarily go with the cheapest person either, because are they going to give you everything that?
Right, right. Well, I guess it depends on your circumstance and how quickly you need to move, and where you want to be, and maybe price of home, and a lot of things can probably be a variation. But I think again, you'd want to have that cutting edge, and have the most opportunity of visibility or opportunity to find what you're looking for.
And then getting the most value out of your house.
Sure.
So sometimes, you paid a tad more, but you also got more out of it at the end.
Sure. No, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. If you're selling your home, you want top dollar, why not work with somebody again that's leading in that direction? So that's very cool. Do you have anything in closing that you'd like to bring up? There's a lot of information that we were kind of touching on a little bit there. Was there anything that you'd like to kind of touch on?
Basically, again, just the preemptive thing that even if you're remotely thinking about it, I'm always available and happy to sit down with people, whether they're thinking about buying, selling. You can get some information. I have a website through EXP.
Just going to ask on the contact, so I can lead right into that.
DougWilliams.exprealty.com.
Okay.
You can always call me, 262-909-2641. And I'm also Doug.Williams@exprealty.com.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. A lot of people probably, maybe they know somebody that's in the realty world, but sometimes you don't want to work with a family member, or maybe John just started in the realty business and he's a family member, but is John going to help you a lot? It just kind of changes the dynamic. I think when you can work with somebody that knows what's going on, has been doing it for a while, has seen the ups and downs, can give ideas and share things that can really make a difference, and that's you. I see that, so I really appreciate you coming in.
And I love what I do.
Oh, there you go.
I've always been a huge people person, and I like helping people.
There you go.
I look at it as, I'm being an advisor to people, and I help them through the process. And fortunately, I get a little paycheck at the end.
Well, I think the word you're talking about with helping people is huge. I don't think people realize the scope of help and how that can make a difference for what they need.
So your average real estate transaction, there's over 26 people from start to finish that will touch a whole real estate transaction.
Oh my gosh.
So you need someone that can juggle all those people.
That's playing a lot of things there.
To get you from, whether it be buying or selling the house to getting to the closing table.
Oh, there you go. Well, then, there you go, people. You want to work with somebody that can navigate 26 different entities that are involved with all of this, ins and outs. So please reach out to Doug. I think he can really help you out a lot and work with you to help you get your home, sell your home, find things that you need in the realty world. Thank you so much for joining us here on Rely on Local today. It's been a pleasure talking with Doug and giving him a chance to get his information to you out there in the public. Please reach out to Rely on Local if you have any questions or anything that we can help you with through the RelyLocal program or Rely on Local podcast program. Thank you so much. Have a great day.